There is a part inside your water heater that costs $20. It is made of magnesium or aluminum. It is roughly as thick as your thumb, and it is the only thing standing between your tank and a catastrophic failure that will flood your basement and cost you $4,000 in water damage. The manufacturer put it in there. They know exactly what it does. And in 8 years, when that part is gone and your tank starts leaking, they are counting on you to never find out it existed. We are going to expose the engineering secret that 3 corporations are hiding from over 90 million American homeowners. We will show you exactly what to do with a wrench, $20, and 45 minutes. That can double the life of the water heater sitting in your home right now. If you have walked through the water heater aisle at a hardware store recently, you might believe you are looking at a competitive marketplace. You see names like Rheem, AO, Smith, State, American, Reliance, Richmond, and Rudd. You assume these are different companies competing to build a better product for your family. That is an illusion. The reality is that 3 corporations control more than 80% of every residential water heater sold in the United States. AO Smith, Rheem, and Bradford White have spent the last 2 decades buying up every independent manufacturer in sight. When you buy a State water heater, you are buying from AO Smith. When you buy a Rudd, you are buying from Rheem. The brands on the shelf are a costume. Underneath, it is the same 3 factories, the same 3 balance sheets, and the same 3 sets of shareholders who benefit every time your water heater dies ahead of schedule. And here is the part that should make you angry. Water heaters built in the 1960s and 70s routinely lasted 30 to 40 years. Homeowners today are replacing the same appliance every 8 to 12 years. That is not an accident of material science or an unavoidable law of physics. That is a business decision, and the evidence is buried inside your water heater right now, slowly dissolving, waiting for the day it runs out so the replacement cycle can begin again. Before we get to the fix, you need to understand exactly how this system was built, because what happens inside that tank is one of the most elegant and invisible engineering traps ever designed into a consumer appliance. Walk into any hardware store and you will find water heaters organized by warranty tier. 6-year models, 9-year models, 12-year models. The marketing implies that the 12-year model is a better, more durable machine. It is not. Multiple plumbing industry insiders have confirmed what consumer research has documented. In most cases, the tank inside a 12-year warranty water heater is physically identical to the tank in the 6-year model. The difference is a sticker and a slightly larger anode rod. And here is the telling part. Every experienced plumber who knows this will tell you the same thing. You can buy the cheapest 6-year model on the shelf, spend about $20 on a hardware store part, and build yourself a machine that outperforms the 12-year unit without the premium price. That $20 part is called a sacrificial anode rod, and understanding what it does is the key to everything. When water heaters are manufactured, the inside of the steel tank is coated with a thin layer of glass called a vitreous enamel lining. This coating protects the steel from corrosion, but because it is applied at industrial scale, it has microscopic imperfections, tiny gaps where bare steel contacts water. Left unprotected, those gaps would rust, and the tank would fail within a few years. The anode rod solves this through electrochemistry. When you suspend a rod made of magnesium or aluminum inside a tank of water alongside a steel surface, the more reactive metal corrodes first. The rod sacrifices itself, shedding electrons that flow toward the steel and halt the rusting process. As long as it is present and intact, the steel tank is protected. Manufacturers have known this since the earliest residential water heaters. Larry Weingarten, who has spent 4 decades studying water heater longevity, has documented standard hardware store tanks reaching 50 years of service through nothing more than periodic anode rod replacement. Independent tests tracking 30 water heaters with replacement every 2 years showed 19 of those tanks still operating after 25 years. Here is where the story gets darker. A standard anode rod lasts 3 to 5 years under normal conditions. In homes with water softeners, it can be gone in as little as 2 years. Once fully consumed, corrosion shifts immediately to the steel tank. Within a few years after that, your water heater begins to leak. Home inspector Reuben Saltzman pulled the anode rod from his 4-year-old water heater and found it completely gone. His father's 9-year-old unit had nothing left, not even the wire core, and neither man had any idea the part existed until the damage was already done. Here is how the information gets buried. I.O. Smith's owner manual mentions the anode rod on page 20. State Water Heaters discusses it on page 15. Neither brand mentions the word anode anywhere in their advertising, on their packaging, or at any point during the sales process. You will never see the phrase replace every 3 to 5 years on the box sitting on the shelf at Home Depot. Professional plumbers who replace water heaters for a living describe consumer awareness as functionally zero. One San Jose plumbing company stated plainly, "Most homeowners have never heard of it, and fewer have ever touched one." A veteran technician on the Heating Help Professional Forum wrote this: "I have never seen a powered anode in the field. I do know nobody ever replaces the anode rods. At least in my part of the jungle. That is not a consumer failure. That is a system design, and the design goes deeper than just where they put the information in the manual." Over the past 30 years, manufacturers have steadily made the rod harder to access. Older water heaters featured it in its own dedicated port at the top of the tank. You could remove and inspect it without disconnecting a single pipe. On many modern units, the rod is integrated into a combination fitting buried inside the hot water outlet connection. To reach it, you have to shut off the water supply, partially drain the tank, and disconnect the plumbing. One homeowner who tried to locate his anode rod on a newer unit was warned by other owners, "Do not take that top panel off. It is expanded foam underneath. You will destroy the unit just trying to get to it." A veteran plumber on the Heating Help Forum stated the implication directly. If water heater manufacturers really wanted you to change anodes, they would have them in a separate port you could reach without disconnecting anything. And then there are the lawsuits. A.O. Smith faces an active class action lawsuit, not over tanks, not over heating elements, but over the drain valve. The company is accused of knowingly manufacturing water heaters with plastic drain valves made of inexpensive glass-filled nylon instead of brass. Valves that warp, crack, and fail under normal operating pressure. Rheem has already settled a parallel case covering more than 600,000 water heaters manufactured between 2019 and 2023 with the same defect. In both cases, the company stood accused of designing failure into the very component you need to perform the maintenance they claim is required. In homes with hard water, and 85% of American homes have hard water, sediment accumulates at the bottom of the tank every single year. That sediment layer insulates the burner from the water above it, forcing the heating element to run longer, overheating the tank bottom, cracking the glass lining, and accelerating internal corrosion. Gas water heaters lose 6 to 8% of their efficiency within just 2 years of sediment buildup. Electric water heaters with a thin scale layer on the heating elements can see energy consumption increase by up to 30%. One Bay Area landlord managing 3 rental properties discovered his utility costs had climbed 22% year over year. The entire increase traced back to sediment buildup in water heaters that had never been flushed. That landlord is not unusual. That landlord is the industry's best customer, because 70% of all water heater replacements in the United States are emergency responses to a unit that has already failed, not planned replacements, not proactive maintenance, emergency calls at premium pricing, with no time to compare quotes, no time to access rebates, and no choice but to accept whatever is in stock. A.O. Smith alone reported $3.82 billion in global revenue in 2024, with North American operating margins approaching 24%. Selling you a new unit every decade is more profitable than helping you maintain the one you own. So what do you actually do about this? You stop being a passive consumer of replacement cycles and start treating your water heater like the investment it is. The first step is checking whether your current tank still has a rod worth saving. Find the model and serial number on your unit and use the date code to determine its age. Most manufacturers encode the year and month of manufacture in the first 4 characters of the serial number. Look up your specific brand's date code online. It takes about 2 minutes. If your water heater is less than 8 years old and has never had its anode rod inspected, it may not be too late. A replacement magnesium anode rod costs between $15 and $30 at any hardware store. You will need a 1 1/16 inch socket, a breaker bar for leverage, and Teflon tape. The entire job takes 45 to 60 minutes on most standard units. If the current rod is still at least half its original thickness, you have time. If it is down to a thin wire core, replace it immediately and mark your calendar for 3 years from now. If you want a more permanent solution, powered anode, rods use a titanium probe and a low-voltage power supply to generate continuous cathodic protection without ever being consumed. They cost between $90 and $150, carry 20-year warranties, and never need replacement. The Coro ProTech brand is available at Home Depot for just under $130. Every independent source that has tested them confirms they work as advertised. Now there is one more thing that should permanently change how you buy your next water heater. When your current tank eventually does reach the end of its service life, stop using the warranty year number as a proxy for quality. According to multiple plumbing experts, the 6-year and 12-year models from the same manufacturer often use identical tanks. The real differences are anode rod size and whether the drain valve is brass or plastic. The smart move is to buy the 6-year model, replace the plastic drain valve with a brass one for $8, and install a full-length magnesium anode rod in the hot water outlet port for about $20. You have just built a 12-year water heater for the 6-year price. Go one step further and flush the tank every 12 months. Every 6 months if you live in a hard water area. Connect a garden hose to the drain valve, run it to a floor drain, and let the sediment clear. This takes 15 minutes and costs nothing. Austin Plumbing in southeastern Wisconsin, which replaces dozens of water heaters every week, confirms that the vast majority of units they pull are not even 10 years old. With proper maintenance, those same tanks could have run for 20 years. We started this video with a $20 part designed to dissolve and disappear inside your water heater without you ever knowing it existed. That part is still in your tank right now, and the clock on it has been running since the day it was installed. What you do with that information in the next week is the difference between a water heater that lasts a decade and one that lasts a generation. The broader question this raises is not really about water heaters. It is about what happens to any industry when 3 companies control the market, when keeping you ignorant is worth billions in emergency call revenue, and when the information that could change your behavior is buried on page 20 of a manual nobody reads. The water heater is just the beginning. The same logic, thinner materials, hidden maintenance, warranty tiers that disguise identical products, runs through furnaces, air conditioning systems, and dozens of other appliances in your home right now. Learn the date code on every major appliance you own. Check the anode rod. Flush the tank. Do not let a corporation collect a $1,000 emergency call fee for a $20 part they never told you existed. If this video changed how you see what is in your home, hit subscribe. We cover the engineering decisions the big brands spend money to keep quiet.